How do you know that what you're doing for your local SEO efforts is even working? Well, don't worry. In this video, we're going to find out exactly how we're doing, because we're going to handle the very first step, which involves getting your tracking set up. That's right, folks. We're going to do something that might seem boring, but if you're not doing this, you have no idea if you're actually getting a return on your investment. So if you're a small business owner, this is how you can set it up yourself. Or hey, make sure that the agency you hire is doing something like this, so that way they can report the numbers back to you. Let's get into it with the most important number that you need to be tracking. And that's where you're showing up in the SERPs. SERP stands for Search Engine Result Page. That's SERP. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, let's take a quick look at that. So I search SEO Bend, Oregon. We look at the map pack. There's our friends, Oregon Web Solutions, Bend SEO, ranking first. And then number one in the organic results, then Can Designs. That's the name of my SEO agency, in case you weren't aware. So if we were to use the SERP tracker, that would tell us that we're ranking number one. And that's what it's telling us, right? It's telling us where we're ranking in the SERP. So this is the search engine result page right here. We're ranking first in the organic results. Some of these SERP trackers also keep track of the map pack, which we're probably ranking like fourth or so based on location, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. All right, I'll take eighth today. I got the map in the middle of Bend right now, so that's far away from where we're at. The benefit of using a tool like this is you can go back and look at the historical data. So we have about a year's worth of data here, so let's see what happens. So you can see back in the early days, we weren't even ranking for this keyword. And then when we started to show up, which go back to the Steal My Local SEO strategy video, we started to show up. We took a little dip there, but slowly but surely over time, we started to rank higher, and now we're ranking first pretty consistently. So that's good, right? And it's also nice to see stuff like this. So let's go to SEO Redmond, Oregon. This one's a lot more fun because we haven't been ranking for this historically at all, and then all of a sudden now we're showing up. More on that in a future video. The point of a SERP tracker is to show us where we're ranking over time. Typically, we're going to be showing up like 50th or 30th or 100th, and over time we want to see that up into the right trend, okay? That's the goal. But the key is we need to be tracking it, and while a table can be nice, which is what some of these tools provide, I prefer having a graph like this because it really shows results. And if I'm offering SEO services, it's very easy to show clients. And if, say, you're like a marketing manager, director for your company, or you're just the one that's in charge of doing the SEO, maybe it's your own business, this is just a really easy way to take a look and say, okay, this is trending in the right direction. We're doing good. So how do we get this set up? Pretty easy. I'm going to show you two tools today that are completely free to get started. When you get a little bit more advanced, I encourage you to use SEMrush just like I'm using. It's paid though. It's like $140 a month, so definitely take your time working your way up to that. But in the early days, use something like either SERPFox or SEMrush has a free version, and so you could check that out too. So I'm going to show you how to set both these up really quickly. In case you're wondering what I'm using here, this is the 30-day local SEO playbook. If you go to 30dayseo.com, you can get your own copy, okay? So go check this out so you can follow along. So I'm just going to click this link right here. I'm using a different account right now. So let's get in here. So we're going to sign up for an account. Let's see how easy this is. So I'll put my name in. All right, so I follow that step. Obviously, I gotta confirm my email just like everything else in the world. All right, now I need to add keywords. So we go up to here, click add keywords, and then we're gonna put in our URL. So let's do my agency website. We'll do thencandesigns.com. And in the previous days of this series, and if you're following along, this is day 5 right now, and the last, or day 3, we figured out what our primary keywords are. So if you're using the free version of SERPFox, which is kind of tricky, they don't show you, but if you click this left arrow, there it is right there, you actually get 10 keywords for free, which is nice, and then you can kind of slowly scale your way up. Just based on a couple of the other plans I've looked at, this one's kind of just the better one that I can see for somebody that's just getting started. $12 per month, you can afford that. So I'm just going to throw a couple keywords in here. All right, so I just threw some keywords in related to web design, SEO in the area. They're saying what search engine you want to use. Google. Why would I want to use anything else? Over 90% of searches go through Google. So platform, we'll just do desktop. Location, this is what we want to change. We're doing local SEO. So I actually only want to know results. Let's say Bend. Actually, well, you can kind of do it either way because all of these have the city in there. But if you're doing near me searches or just what I like to call blank, or like yeah, we'll call them blank searches, so it's like just web design, then you're definitely going to want to narrow it down. Now, obviously, this is going to skew the results for the stuff like Redmond and Prineville. I think you can bring them in chunks and have each one be to a specific area. I could be wrong there. I'll leave the location alone. I'm going to assume English is default, and that's fine. There's also some advanced options here. So let's just hit add, and let's see how we do here. And so now it's starting to pull in that data. Now, I want you to notice like it takes a second to get these measurements. And now we're not going to be able to see a graph because this is brand new, fresh data. But over time, we would say, okay, everything came in there. Boom, look at that, all first page. God, we'd love to see that. Look at all that search volume too. Not so much for the SEO Prineville. But all we're going to see today is this little dot right here. But over time, we get another dot and another dot and another dot. And what's going to do is it's going to show us this graph. And so SERPFox works just like SEMrush as far as its position tracking. So this is a good tool to use in your early days. However, if you plan to really dig deep into SEO efforts, especially local SEO, then you want to keep going with SEMrush because that's probably going to be your ultimate tool. So let's check this out. So here's SEMrush. We're going to try to sign up for a free account here. You can just log in with Google. I'm going to try that out. All right, it asks you a couple questions here. You know, you can tell them more or tell them nothing. That's up to you. They're going to offer you a trial. I encourage you to not do the trial right now. I actually have a special link for a trial in the description below, which you should use when the time comes. Don't do this today. You don't need that, okay? You don't need that. Just hit skip trial. Let's keep pushing forward, okay? You don't have to enter your phone number. Hit skip here, okay? And let's move forward. And now go to projects. So now what you can do is you're going to want to start your first project. So just enter in your website. So I'm going to do thencandesigns.com. And it's already starting to set up the first project right here, which is great. You get one project in the free version of SEMrush. So I encourage you, if this is your small business, to do that, okay? If you offer SEO, because I know a lot of you guys watch these videos, then you would put your first paid client in here, okay? So now we're going to, there's a whole bunch of tools here. I like to set all of these up except for 3, which is the PPC tool, the social tracker, and the social poster. We'll talk about that in a different video. All we're worried about today is the position tracker. So hit setup. Then what you're going to do, again, same options. We're going to do Google, desktop, location. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to say Bend. Okay, and then business name for the local pack. So this is for the GBP. Okay, so if you want your GBP to get found, then you want to put this in. You got to put it in exactly like it is on the GBP. And so make sure you match that. I encourage you to just go to your GBP and copy and paste it, but we'll just, I know for sure that's it because it's my business. Okay, so now it's going to give you some keywords that it thinks it should be. So you can go with those. I'll go with some of those. You can also import from, you can bring in a text file, you can bring in some SEMrush suggestions, or you can actually link up Google Search Console, which is really cool. So you can bring some keywords you're already ranking for. Let's do some SEMrush suggestions here. Let's do web design, all caps. Why not? Web design. There we go. That's also not how you spell it. All right, so I've got some more, so we'll add those to the campaign. Now you only get 10 keywords, so you got to be careful here. All right, and then if you're like me and you get enough email already, uncheck this box to send weekly updates, and then just hit start tracking. And it's gonna start tracking. It's really cool. Again, it's gonna take time. Maybe later on in the video we'll check back to see what this looks like. But again, you know, you can see it in my paid version here. It's going to look like this. You'll get the data, and then over time, you'll end up getting that graph, okay, which is really what we want to see. This is what we want. This is the first thing you want to set up as soon as you know what your main keywords are. Again, if you don't know what those are, head back to day 3. We'll link that below in the description if I remember. If not, leave a comment so that way I do that. So remember, we're looking for graphs like this so we can watch the volatility over time. If it starts to dip, why is that happening? Are competitors doing stuff? Are we not keeping up? Or is it trending up and to the right like we should because we're doing things like building authority over time? Don't worry, we'll talk about that in a later day if you're a little lost by that comment. Now there's other KPIs, as they call them, key performance indicators, that we want to check over time during our SEO campaigns. Now these are talked about, they're documented very well on YouTube, so I feel like it's not worth your time to really spend too much time talking about how to set up the rest of these. I'm going to talk more at a higher level, and then what I'll do is I'll either link out to other YouTube videos that succinctly talk about how to do this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So that's just what we'll do. And all of this has to do with the TLC method, which I think I talked about way back in, that's right, it was day 2 of the playbook. The first thing we have to do is find the right pages to show up on. Then we want to show up on those pages. And the first step is keyword research. The next step is doing some on-page optimizations. Then over time, we want to rank higher. That's why we're building authority. That's SEO. We measure that with the SERP tracking. Then we want to check our views on Google. That's going to be impressions on Google Search Console. That's the next thing we're going to look at. Then we want to track our traffic. That's going to be Google Analytics. Then we want to make sure we're getting contact form submissions, phone calls, emails, all that good stuff. And one way that we can keep track of that to make sure that everything's as optimized as possible is to track our CRO using something like Clarity. I'm not saying CRO is SEO. Let me just make a little point there. Those are different things, but it can be helpful to take a look so that way we know that there's nothing that's a bottleneck somewhere in the process. Okay, so back to day 5. Number 2, we want to track impressions on Google using Google Search Console. So if you've never used Google Search Console before, there's a billion videos on how to do it. I basically walked through the steps right here. It should be pretty straightforward. Let's just go through it anyway. So when you get to the page, you can just click Start Now. You might already have pages up here, maybe you don't. If you want to add a property, here's what you do. Just click Add Property. So you're going to come here, you're going to click Add Property, and you're going to put it under Domain. Let me see if I can do something else here. Let's do yoursmallbizSEOsuccess.com, which is where you can get my weekly local SEO newsletter. We'll hit Continue. And it should bring us to the next step where it says, okay, now you need to verify. Now I can't show you the millions of ways that you could do this, but really it's pretty simple. It's just a text record. You hit copy, you make a text record, okay? If you don't want to make a text record, again, that's another video. It's so easy, okay? The first time you do it, once you've done it a couple times, you can do it 100 times, okay? This is so easy. So anyway, once you do that, then you'll get this screen right here. This is Google Search Console. And the main thing you're going to do is go over here on the left, up to performance. You're going to hit search results, and you're going to look at this. And you know, if we spread this out, let's go out to like 12 months worth of time. Let's get rid of the clicks right here for a second. Look at this up. Let me get my head out of the way. Look at this up and to the right, okay? You can, and the parts where we're actually dipping, I can tell you I'm slacking on my SEO at those points, okay? I'm resting on my laurels in this current season. So anyway, this is what you're getting from Google Search Console. It's really cool. The main thing you're looking for are views on Google. That's what impressions are. You also get cool things like down here, you can get the queries that people are actually searching for on Google, and you can see which pages are showing up the most on Google down here. So that's really cool. All right, so Google Search Console is a very powerful tool, but it's not the only tool in our tool belt. So let's go back to the playbook now. The next thing we want to do is track Google Analytics. Now this is really hard for me to show you how to add this to a site because you actually have to add code to the site. There's a million different ways to do that. So I'm just not going to do this. I'm going to leave this out. But here's what you'll see. So what you're going to see is kind of a snapshot of the last 7 days, but you want to go up here to reports. There's 2 pages I like to look at a lot. One is user acquisition, because this is telling me where people are coming from. And so for my business, you know, we have quite a few sources. You know, we got direct, which are people just typing in thencandesigns.com. We have organic search, that's SEO, that's what we like to see. I love when this number goes over direct. A lot of people do type in thencandesigns.com. I can't help that. Referral is other people showing it. Organic videos, YouTube, social, it's probably LinkedIn for me. Email is from my email newsletter, which we talked about a second ago. So a lot of times it's just going to be direct, organic search, and organic social. Those are the main things I see with most of my clients. That's probably what you're going to see. Another report I like to look at is engagement landing page. Okay, this is showing me the page that people are hitting first when they get to the website. Okay, and you can change the dates up here as well. So that's another thing. A lot of people get confused with Google Analytics. It's not that bad. So you can see the main pages that are showing up are the SEO page, the web design page, the DIY SEO for small business page, which, hey, check that one out. That's there's a bunch of videos there organized for you. So if you haven't checked out that before, you should do that. And then, hey, here's the link to that. That's where 30dayseo.com redirects. Spoiler alert as to that link. So that's Google Analytics in a nutshell. Now I want to stop for a second and hit you with a little bit of a caution. Things are changing in marketing, okay? privacy is becoming more and more of a thing. And as an end user, as people that use the internet, this is a good thing, okay? We shouldn't be mad about this. But as marketing people, it makes our jobs a little bit harder because we're not going to be able to see as much data. So just know that things like Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager, which I'm going to mention here in a second, are not GDPR compliant, especially if you're in the EU. And a lot of times when you start setting these tools up, you have to make sure that your terms and policies pages are up to date. You should be using something like Termageddon, or at least be working with a professional on that. If you need some help, please reach out. I don't just offer like terms pages, but I can at least point you in the right direction. But make sure that's dialed in, and also it's probably a good idea, especially for some states like California, to have a cookie consent form. Most businesses are, I'm not a lawyer, so don't listen to me here, but most businesses are too small to need to worry about this currently, but it's just something you're going to want to consider more and more. Eventually, we're all probably gonna have to switch to an opt-in approach, so that means a certain percentage of people we're not gonna get data on, and that's gonna be unfortunate. So I'm just throwing that out there because I feel like I'm not being responsible if I don't talk about that. So anyway, let's get back into it. Everything we're doing right now is just like industry best standards. Pretty much everybody in SEO does this, and so that's just being a little bit more forward thinking. It's like, what are we going to do if Google Analytics gets turned off, or if we need to bounce, or if we need to use a different tool down the road. So just know that. Another tool that I really like to use is Ahrefs Site Audit Tool. So I'm not going to show you how to set that up. I'm just going to show you a report real fast. So once you've got a couple scans, it's going to look like this. I'm just going to click on one right here, and so it gives you this nice score right here. The main thing I do is I click all issues up here, and then I look for any of the things that have red marks. Later on, we'll do a video where I dive a little bit deeper into this and talk about each one of the issues. Maybe not each one of the issues, but some of the more common issues and how to fix those. But the closer we can get to 100, the better. I'm not going to show you the ones I have because they're silly. But anyway, I'm perfectly content with my 99%. So I highly encourage you to use Ahrefs Site Audit Tool. You do have to verify the domain. So you can either do that by adding another text record, or you could go through Google Search Console. I've had some people say you shouldn't use the Google Search Console tool. I do that because I'm lazy, but maybe that's not a good idea. So anyway, there's that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is CRO, which stands for Conversion Rate Optimization. This is not SEO. You don't have to do this if you offer SEO. However, these videos are for small business owners that are trying to manage their own marketing. So you should probably at least be looking at your CRO. And I encourage people that are offering local SEO to at least take a look at this. You don't have to do a in-depth report where you're monitoring every single person that gets to the site. No. Just look at a couple recordings and see if there's anything you need to change. I have caught people clicking on buttons that don't work, filling out a contact form submission to completion, hitting next, realizing they hadn't filled the thing out, and then leaving. I've seen slow loading pages cause people to bounce. So I've learned so much information by using Clarity, which is a tool we're going to talk about here in a second. So this is it's another tool in your tool belt. I highly encourage you to use it. It's free, but it's a little intrusive. So there's two ways to set up Clarity. One, you can install Google Tag Manager, which is really not GDPR compliant as far as I understand, because it tracks a lot more stuff. And then using Clarity, you basically use Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager at the same time, and it just syncs everything up. Or Microsoft Clarity is GDPR compliant. I'm not really sure how. I think it's because it strips all of the user's data. And so you can actually just use a code up at the top. If you've ever installed Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager, you know what I'm talking about, to put these header codes in. It's pretty easy, actually. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that. You can leave a comment below if you want to see that. But you can install Clarity directly, and then that bypasses having to use any Google tools, and allegedly this is GDPR compliant. Okay, so let me show you what Clarity looks like so you're not in the dark anymore. So Clarity is super creepy. It lets you do a couple things. It does show you things like heat maps, which is interesting. So you can see where people are clicking on your site. Ooh, look at that. So a lot of people hitting contact, things like that. But the main thing that I use it for are the recordings, because I love seeing this live user data. So let's check this out here. So this person, I'm going to just look at stuff from, I'm going to look from just Google and just the US. Okay, so here's somebody right here. So they got onto the site. This is from earlier today. So they got on the site, they scrolled down the home page. This is at 4 times speed, so people do take longer to read than this, just so you know. So they're clicking get started, and now they're filling out the contact form. And it's kind of nice that it like obscures the information so you're not actually seeing what they're doing. And then this should bring them to the thank you page. Perfect. And they decided not to do anything else. I should really update that thank you page, shouldn't I? Anyway, so that was one recording. We could watch other recordings where, this is only 20 seconds long, so this person's probably just going to scroll through. I see that all the time. What did they do? They clicked the phone number. That was interesting. Or no, they clicked web design. And then back to the home page, and then they gave up. Clarity seems creepy, but it gives you a ton of intel on how people are actually using your site. Remember, the tools that we've set up today take you all the way from trying to rank as high as you can for these SERPs, search engine result pages, to making sure you actually get seen with your impressions on Google Search Console, to making sure you're getting traffic, which is measured in Google Analytics or some other GDPR compliant analytics platform like Fathom or Matomo. Not affiliated, but I'm not too proud to be affiliated, so feel free to reach out, Matomo. And then finally, we want to make sure we're getting conversions. Obviously, we're going to be checking the contact form submissions that are getting filled out on the website. And there's more things we could do for tracking as far as like seeing when people are clicking on buttons. But honestly, I've noticed that like people don't care that much. They just want to get results. And so being able to watch these metrics as time goes on help us with our SEO campaigns. We should start to see over time. Initially, we might not be showing up for any of the pages we want to rank for, but over time we want to see ourselves showing up. And then over time we want to see ourselves ranking higher. And then all of a sudden we should start seeing those impressions on Google start to rise. People are seeing us more on Google, which means more people are clicking on our site. And then we should start to notice, we'll get more data from Clarity. We should be seeing people having a good user experience, going through, clicking, looking around, and then eventually somebody's going to go on over to the Contact Us button. They're going to fill out a contact form. They're going to click that call now. They're going to email us, and it's going to be beautiful because that's what we want here, okay? We want to see get more TLC. That's traffic, leads, and clients. But before that, we've got to find the right pages to target. We've got to show up on them. We've got to rank higher, okay? That's why we're tracking what we're tracking. That's the whole point of the 30-day local SEO playbook, is to see you get more success for your small business, people. Let's do this. So that's the end of day 5. What do we got coming up for day 6? Ooh, we're going to be checking out our competitors' keywords. That's right, we're going to be stealing our competitors' keywords in the next video. Ooh, scandalous. Now I will say, from a practical standpoint, you might already have all the keywords you need from day 3, but sometimes you get some insights from this. So I think this is going to be a really good video. So I hope that you check out that video, which is going to be right here. Nope, it's going to be right here. And you can click on that video. But if you made it all the way to the end, please hit that like button. It helps the channel out. Subscribe so you don't miss when the next video comes out. And then when you're ready, click right there, continue your journey, go on to day 6, and keep going with your local SEO efforts. Can't wait to see you in that one.